Welcome to something to talk about.
Hi, welcome to Something to Talk About. My name is Taco, and I got the finals for the Song of Ice and Fire Dragon Tournament I've been doing in my polls. And yeah, so we're going to cover the two semifinal matches and then the finals. And let's go. I'm really excited. That's one more tournament down. And, you know, I really feel I'm feeling really good right now. And I'll explain why. I feel like I can accomplish anything. Maybe not talk, but I feel like I can accomplish anything right now. And because for lunch, I smashed a burger, made a smash burger, put some cheese on it, and then we had some leftover chili my wife made yesterday, and I heated some of that up, and then I poured that on top of the burger, and then put pickles on that, and then I ate that thing, right? And I didn't get any of it on my shirt. My shirt looks great. Watch out. Watch out, world. All right. If you guys don't know what's going on, these were the rules. I'm not gonna read them out. I already did that. And yeah, so this was the tournament that we started with, and round one went pretty good. I did cover round one and round two in a video a few days ago, just a couple days ago. So if you want to see how those went, and if you wanted to see the comments on that, go back and check it out. But yeah, Aemond One-Eye went to fought Jaehaerys on Vermithor, and then we had Rhaegon Dreamfire on Rhaenys on Melees, and then Alysanne on Silverwing versus Aemond on Caraxes, Aegon the First Balerion versus Cannibal, Visenya on Vhagar versus Daemon on Caraxes, Ulf the White on Silverwing, and then Aegon the Second on Sunfire, Nettles on Sheepstealer, Rhaenyra on Syrax, and then Maegor on Balerion, and then Hugh Hammer on Vermithor. And yeah, this is how it shook. Jaehaerys got that win, which was a surprise to me. I consider it the first upset. And then Rhaenys got that win. Aemond won over Silverwing, which, all right. And then Aegon took Cannibal. And that was a surprise as well. Not that I think he was going to lose. It was more, I thought it was going to be a little closer. But compared to all of Aegon's match, or all of Balerion's matches, it actually was pretty close. Visenya took out Daemon. Excuse me. Aegon II took out Ulf the White. Nettles took out Rhaenyra. And then Maegor demolished Hugh Hammer. And then we moved on to our semifinals. So this is where we're at right now, where we got Jaehaerys, who took out Rhaenys on Melees, going up against Aegon the First, who took out Aemond on Caraxes. Gotta love these Targaryen names. And then Visenya on Vhagar took out Aemond on Sunfire, and Maegor demolished Nettles on Sheepstealer. So this is where we're starting to. So yeah, let's get into it, because we don't have too much to do, and I don't want it to be the longest video ever for no reason. So our first match was Jaehaerys on Vermithor, and yeah, this is are we far enough in the video for me to play this?
You got knocked the fuck out!
Yeah, it was a tucker. He got tuckered. Got tuckered right away. And it's a bit of a surprise, actually. So if we go over to the comments, Dirt is King said Balerion the Black Dread will carry both riders to the finals. Yeah, you're not wrong. And then Irish Potato Thief had a big dose of copium with his breakfast. I love this. Am I delusional? That's subjective. Do I have conviction? I would say so. Will I acknowledge reality? Absolutely not. Give Vermithor some anti-air missiles, and he got this. Vermithor with anti-air missiles? Maybe. Probably not. Should I run that? Just see. And then yeah, Efren T said it can't go against Balerion the Black Dread. Well, that's what we learned. Balerion has, at least as of now, 0 losses in this entire tournament, and only struggled against a couple people. And yeah, whoever's riding to Balerion, he did not have a lot of problems. So and then I already forgot your name. Ivan Karam Azab, thank you. Nice name. Said every Balerion versus X answer is Balerion. I like putting the HMS Dreadnought up against anything that came before it. Yeah, they did have a comment, and I guess I normally don't do comments, but it's only one and it's not argumentative. Davy, replies. I normally don't do replies because a lot of times they're argumentative. Davy Sota said, honestly, the only dragon I would dare put against him is Vhagar, who I would say has a battle history equal or even superior to him. Any other dragons, only Melees or Caraxes would have a chance. I think Caraxes would. I mean, we've seen a gigantic... The problem with that Vhagar for the dance is Vhagar was too big, right? But Balerion was too big at some point, but not really when Maegor flew him. Maybe. But a rider such as Daemon the Rogue Prince could do something crazy like he did, and I don't want to give away spoilers if you don't know what happens in House of the Dragon, but yeah. I would give Caraxes a chance, and I would definitely give Vhagar a chance, especially against Aegon the First's Balerion. If we made it, like if Aemond One-Eye on Visenya made it out of first round, I probably would have voted Aemond One-Eye. No one else would have. He would have still lost, but I would have. He's crazy flyer with a lot of experience on a really, really big dragon, a dragon that's bigger than this version of Balerion the Black Dread, I would think. Taco's got Baylor Blakespear just said Taco's gonna be so mad when he crowns Maegor. We'll see. And then it's King Stefan II said, and crown him Taco Shell. Taco Shell. All right, we're moving on to Visenya versus Maegor. So this is one of the couple. Sorry, let me pause this. Sorry, I am way more stuffed up than I thought I was when I started. This is one of two mother-daughter fights, because if we go back, we had Rhaenys versus Aemon, right? Oh, no, we didn't. We had Visenya. Yeah, Alysanne. Rhaenys isn't Aemon's. Alysanne on Silverwing versus Aemon on Caraxes. And Sun took that one. So what happened here? Sun took this one too. But keep in mind, Balerion almost always tuckered. Almost his entire. The only matches he didn't get a tucker on was against Cannibal with Aemon on it. And then I believe he tuckered against Aemon. I'm like almost 100% sure. And then Maegor literally got nothing but tuckers leading up to fighting his mom. So tuckered on Hugh Hammer and Nettles, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, like I'm 100% sure. So yeah, Visenya is like the only time it gave him problem. So just keep that in mind. Like this might look like a giant stomp, but this is the first time Maegor didn't get 90% or more. So no, Visenya put up a fight. So let's go over to comments on that one. Visenya versus Maegor. Here you go. Yeah, and then Kara Mazav said, this is the only one of these questions that makes any sense because all of Maegor's smarts come from Visenya. I hope this person knew, like, I don't know, a lot of their comments seemed like they didn't know I was doing attorney. Like, that's a horrible one. Well, yeah, but that's the way the attorney went. Like, this one doesn't make any sense. All right, but like that's the way the attorney did a tournament. So I don't know. Are there people? I don't know if you're watching this. I feel like you're at the level 3 of engagement, if you will. I'm pulling all this out of my butt, but like seeing the polls and voting on them. Level 1, seeing the posts and seeing the brackets. Number 2, and understanding. Oh, it's a tournament. These are the brackets, right? And then seeing these videos. Probably subscribe. And then seeing these videos, that's like level 3 of engagement. And commenting, of course. But you can comment on either level. And I feel like there are people who literally just like do not know that these are tourneys. Which is really funny to me. But maybe I'm reading. Why am I coughing so much? I felt really good before I started this video. I believe, I don't know if Kara Mazav was a, does know this is the tourney or not. Maybe I'm just reading it wrong. But yeah. Anyways, let's keep moving. And then Fortune said Visenya is my favorite Targaryen, up there for me too. And often portrayed as wicked. I'd argue that a pattern exists around the wilders of Darksister. She has mentioned that she she is the first mentioned. I would assume that Dark Sister is made like for her, but we don't know that. That defines those characteristics as sentinels of sorts for House Targaryen. On that account, I think Visenya, if her family were her blood were at risk, would manage, just like Daemon, to take out a larger threat, even at the cost of her life and that of her dragon. I think that is an amazingly accurate assessment of Visenya. And probably you're right of Dark Sister wielders. There is definitely I've never thought of this term before, but like a sentinel for House Targaryen vibe. But yeah, like Daemon definitely gives that off of, at least in the show, of really trying to fight for his family. And then definitely Aemond the Dragon Knight, and then even Brendan Rivers, right? So there is definitely a thing of Dark Sister wielders as fighting for the family, though I would say misguided. I think Visenya, and this is going to piss off all my Maegor fans, but I think Visenya putting her son on the throne over the rightful heir, because I don't think Aemond or Aegon the Uncrowned would have been a bad king. I think he gets a bad rep. I think he absolutely would have been a fine king. He was considered that. He was considered a really good prince, better than his dad. I think he would have been a great king. And Visenya, I think, is very misguided on wanting Maegor on the throne. But you know what? That misguidedness infects like the majority of, not the majority of the fandom, but the Maegor is based wing of the fandom, at least in my little corner of the fandom, is very big. So, you guys are probably already clicking like, putting Maegor on the throne is the greatest thing you could ever do. All right, good for you. Like, I can't argue against it if you're that passionate about it. But and then you could see misguidedness in Daemon wanting to get to, like, he seemed to really want the war. When it happened, he was very much, all right, man, let's go kill, like, right away. Like, he went and took Harrenhal, like, the second day after the war started. Well, Blackwoods and Brackens fought day 2. And then day 3, he went and took Harrenhal, right? So I feel like they can be misguided, but definitely over other Targaryens who want to lust in their power and drink and bang, like Aegon the Unworthy and book version of Viserys. There is definitely and then there's also rulers who put the realm first, and a couple of them, and even let themselves look weak in order to strengthen the realm. I'm looking at like Daemon II. And yeah, but when it comes to fighting Targaryen first, like we are Targaryen every way, and they don't have, and also no Dark Sister wielder ever gets the crown, you know, like that's another really important thing. Blackfire is for the people who have the crown, and then Dark Sister is for I can't believe I'm going off so much, but Fortune 2515, the Sentinels of Targaryen. Yeah, thank you for that rant. I didn't see that rant coming at all. It just happened. And then yeah, J84 Martinez just said, Maegor all the way. So yeah, there's that. And then how long is this one? Not very long. HCLW said Maegor, but the recipe for an upset is definitely there. Visenya is more experienced rider and should be savvy enough to try to meet him head to head. And should be savvy enough not to try, to meet him head to head. Maegor has experience fighting another dragon, but how small the dragon was isn't really much of an experience. Yeah, sorry, Aegon the Uncrowned. Yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't give him dragon fighting, like much dragon fighting cred for just chopping Aegon the Uncrowned. And then Balerion side should do Vhagar in, but if anyone could clutch up against the Black Dread, who left in the tournament, who's left in the tournament to make something fight? Yeah, it's Visenya. Yeah, the only one who could actually fight against Baelor left. Well, Vhagar is the only dragon left because Vermithor got knocked out the day before with a Tucker. So it's really Vhagar's the only chance. And yeah, 25, like I said, 25-75 seems like a complete stomp, but it isn't. Hawk McBride said crazy mother versus son fight. This could probably go either way. And yeah, I mean, we got a lot. There's a lot of comments on this, but a lot of them are Visenya and Vhagar from Halide Kazmiri. I'm sorry. I don't put any research into these names before I start reading them. And then Maegor all the way from Lazy Boy. Yeah. Okay, let's move on to the finals. So we got Balerion versus Balerion. So this is how the semifinals came out, and this is what we're looking at. So we got Aegon the First on Balerion the Black Dread, and then Maegor the Cruel on Balerion the Black Dread. And yeah, 55-45. Okay, so people who think that this was one-sided are way off. This was not one-sided. This was 50-50 for quite a while, and I wasn't sure where it was going to go. And it ended up going this way, to my surprise, into the surprise of a lot of people. And yeah, let's get into it. So, Assassin's Craft. This is 11 minutes ago when they commented this. I didn't see this until just now, so let's hope it's not bad. Maegor, in theory, should have this. Balerion and him both would be bigger. If the theory that Maegor is a firelight possible, the bond between Balerion would be more ravenous and aggressive. That's a really good point. But yeah, I feel like most of these is how is Maegor losing. So E. Marty said, I don't know how this isn't Maegor, bigger dragon, even more experience in battle on Balerion. I would say more experience. He definitely has more experience slaughtering, but Aegon did too. Aegon fought in the Stepstones before the conquest, and then Harrenhal, Fill the Fire, and then just burning the crap out of Dorne. And I know that doesn't seem like experience, but Maegor's experience is burning the crap out of cities in one fight against Aegon the Uncrowned. So, in a couple battles, I think it's pretty equal, actually, the experience. But yeah, Lazy Boy said, so King Maegor is losing the popularity contest. Yeah, that's how it goes. I'm sorry, these are not real. No one's campaigning. No one's got any, it's popularity contest. So literally all it is. There are no policies anyone's arguing. Balerion doesn't represent, free healthcare. Is Maegor free healthcare? But yeah, anyways, the point I'm trying to make is, yeah, it's probably how it is. I can't explain it because I would think Maegor would win this, but it went where it went, and here we are. I think it's pretty cool, actually. I think it says a lot for Aegon that Aegon took this. It's actually really interesting. So Baylor Blake Spears said, there's also a bunch of comments, so I'm not going to get to everybody's. I'm saying that right now. I'll read Baylor Blake Spears, and then I'll try to go through some of the ones with the most thumbs up. Baylor Blake Spears said, let's talk about Dragon Bond. Aegon was obviously bonded before Maegor, but also was never said to be evil, so Balerion wouldn't be so vicious. Maegor, on the other hand, would make his dragon Balerion the cruel and commit dragon on dragon homicide, no problem. How does it Maegor's disregard for family make a deciding factor? Yeah, I think that's a really good point, because Maegor will just kill his family if he feels like it's needed, like he does it quite a few times. So yeah. Let's find some. So this one, should I get into this one? This has a lot of comments, but all the comments have a bunch of thumbs up too. So I'm going to do it. I forgot my name. Said Aegon has more experience riding his dragon than Maegor and a greater tactical mind. See, one person thought Maegor had more experience. This person thought Aegon does. I think they're pretty equal. He carried out the burning of Harrenhal and organized and Fill the Fire. These are not just displays of how powerful a dragon be, but using them strategically. Yeah, I would give it that. And single-handedly win wars. Maegor may be a superior warrior, but it's believed but I believe his father to be the better rider and tactician. King Stefan, who we know, King Stefan II is a giant Maegor shill, and I think they will say that publicly and proudly. I'm not telling tales out of school. Stefan said he burned sitting targets and relied on his sisters to help him to fill the fire. No great feat, in my opinion. Maegor, on the other hand, fought in the skies against an actual dragon, and he fought on the ground with his men, unlike prim and prissy Aegon. Maegor all the way. One person, I forgot my name. Yeah, said Aegon or Harrenhal is a bit more than a simple inanimate object. Yeah, I give it. A million men could have besieged it, and a million men would have been repelled. These armies of the rock and reach first engaged on foot, being set aflame. Aegon had secondary force prepared to catch these soldiers. Yeah, I think I don't need to read all of I forgot my name. He's saying there's definitely more strategy to what Aemond's saying. And then HCLW said Maegor fought a baby dragon, and it's true, with the largest dragon on record. Maybe I should have read this. It's definitely getting a lot of thumbs up, but I don't want it to be, I don't like reading these very kind of back and forth arguments, but yeah. And then Nunya Business said relying on his sisters doesn't take away how of a tactician he was. Yeah, relying on other dragons helping, that's just more tactics, right? Does it push you to how good you should do in a solo fight? No, but it just show that you think tactically, right? It makes perfect sense. I'm assuming they were trying to say to use what resources you have when your dragon riding resources could be of course they're going to be used. Yeah. Anyways, they all those comments had a lot of thumbs up, so that's why I ended up reading them all. Yeah, Jeremy Hull said I can't believe that Maegor is losing. He's so much more ruthless than Aegon and his size advantage, and he has also documented a kinslayer at basically Undertaker versus Triple H. So any way it goes is fine. I've just been pulling for Maegor in hopes he can pull ahead. Yeah. And yeah, this one has a lot of likes. Let me see how long it is. Oh yeah, we're good. Joe Mama. Joe Mama. Aegon will be showing Maegor how it is done in battle. Both have no real feats as it comes to fight another dragon of note. That is saying that killing Aegon the Uncrowned isn't a real feat. Yes, Maegor beat Aegon the Uncrowned and his dragon, but his skill as a dragon rider didn't really show, considering the monumental size difference that's gone here. Maegor's Balerion has the slight size difference, but that's where the advantage for him ends. Aegon is a more intelligent rider and has been with his dragon longer. The savvy vet with the tools to win cleanly. That was probably the best argument I've actually heard for Aegon, because, yeah, Maegor only got his dragon after his dad died, and his dad didn't die until Maegor was a lot older, right? So, Aegon did have a lot more time with Balerion. But, yeah, we don't know how much credit to give it dragon bonding. Maybe a lot, maybe not. Now, oh my God, there is just still so many. Yeah, and I feel like a lot of them are saying close to the same stuff here. But, yeah, finally, King Stefan II just said false. I'm not going to read it. It's a huge paragraph. And then, let's get her name here. I don't know how to say that, even after I did that. Ranabir Mitra. All right. Thanks for commenting. Said, I think this is a case who has a stronger bond with Balerion. See, a lot of people give more credit to the bond. And I'm not saying they're wrong. Saying that's a take. The stronger bond with Balerion. I think the case who has a stronger bond with Balerion. Maegor spent too little time with Balerion in comparison to Aegon. Just wanted to say that I loved waking up every morning to the tourney matches. Oh, you're welcome. I'm a relatively recent subscriber, and I'm excited for more. Holy crap. I didn't read that knowing that person was going to say that. Well, welcome to the community. Hopefully you're seeing this. Maybe not. And then here's the one. I'm going to read it, but I will not read the replies. A lot of people blew up in the replies, so I'm not going to go through them. So your name just Double Deuce? The Blue Deuce. Nice. The Blue Deuce said, that's a great name. Maegor had in their it's Darth Vader with a blue lightsaber, sick. Like Darth Vader in the suit with the blue lightsaber, sick. Maegor has a bigger Balerion, more experience. Balerion actually has a dragon on dragon combat experience. And then just a lot of people commented, and I'm not reading them all. Yeah. You could see how split the chat is and how split this was. And yeah, out of was it 324 votes when I took this? It was 55-45. That's not a stop. It's not a stop. All right. Okay. Thank you guys for watching. I will do the next tourney I have planned. I want to say December, I think is when I'm going to do it. And it's either going to be, let me just flip right to them. I think I can very easily do that. I got to go to my notes app, and yeah, mini tourneys. That's not that. Mini tourneys. Looks like, yeah, my next one's going to be in December, and it's going to be my Commanders tourney. And we'll see how that one ends up. And yeah, it's going to be equal size armies running into each other on neutral ground, basing completely off the commander, who's a better commander here and would win that fight. So I'm excited for that one. That's going to be really cool. And then I got one more mini tourney after the Commanders one. That's going to kick butt before in March, right? Don't I? I just said February. So yeah, February leads right into March. So I'm not giving myself a lot of chance for that. So we'll see. We'll see if I end up doing that one. So I won't tell you what it is. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Thank you for commenting, all your comments. Extremely appreciated. Thank you for sharing everything that you got going. You support these tourneys, so I keep making them. They're really fun. And yeah, and if you don't know, I have a gigantic channel. It's not big as in subscribers wise, but it's big as in a lot of content. I cover Song of Ice and Fire, lore, characters. Go check all that stuff out. I have a bunch, and I'm not slightly slowing down probably, but not really. I have a bunch coming up. So yeah, that's all I got. Thank you. And yeah, peace.